Good evening and welcome to the October 23rd, 2023 regular meeting of the Town Council of Weaverville, North Carolina. We have two public hearings this evening, which we'll start off with. The first is the public hearing regarding annexation of 492 Reams Creek Road. Town Attorney, would you mind giving us a reminder of what this is about?
Yes, sir. Good evening. Kathy Amos, who's formerly Kathy Rollman, is
Great, we can't hear her.
Can you hear me now? All right, thank you. So Kathy Amos is the owner of approximately 1 acre right next door to the 480 Reams Creek property that the town annexed back in the earlier part of this year. The developer is looking to add this 1 acre piece to that development, and so they have presented an voluntary annexation petition so that it could come into the town of Weaverville should you wish that. Town clerk has previously certified the sufficiency of this petition, and the annexation is now eligible for the public hearing, which has been advertised. There is an accompanying zoning request for R3 zoning, which is the second public hearing. So we've got two. This first one is on the annexation. I don't believe that there were any written comments that were received as in advance of the meeting. I'm going to look back to Tamara. No, there were not. So we just need to check to see if there's anybody here tonight and online that might wish to comment on the annexation.
Thank you. No one has signed up to speak tonight. You still have a chance to change your mind if you do. Is there anyone online who wanted to speak on this issue? Louis. Oh, excuse me, Lou, you do. I thought this was legit. I thought you'd signed up for general comments. I'm making a mistake. Lou Acanero, please come forward.
I said, Lou, you look good, but we couldn't hear you. You cut off. I said, yes, I guess I got cut off. And I also got the message. I heard you all loud and clear.
Sir, if you
3
could,
or 4 days, can you hear me?
can you speak more into the mic? That way maybe we can pick you up.
So I got the message loud and clear. So about 4 days later, I called my architects, told them to table everything on Main Street. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else like to speak on this issue of the annexation of 492 Reams Creek Road? This public hearing is now closed. The next item is item 3, public hearing regarding the initial R3 zoning of 492 Reams Creek Road. I don't believe anyone signed up for that as well. And I think the attorney has described that what this is about already. James, would you like to? Okay, thank you very much. Is there anyone online who'd like to make any comments regarding this public hearing?
And Mr. Mayor, this is the R3 zoning request, and just wanted to let everybody know that the planning board did review this matter and found that R3 zoning was consistent with your comprehensive land use plan and reasonable.
Thank you. If there are no other comments, I'm calling this public hearing to a close as well. Moving on to item number 4, which is the approval and adjustments to the agenda. First, I'd like to, before we get that, I'd like to say that I will not be here next month because I kind of made a scheduling error. I booked a trip well in advance and did not realize I was overlapping the fact that I won't be here next month, which normally is also the time when we would swear in new council members who will be voted in at the election coming in November. So we are going to, in the consent agenda, you'll see there's an item to delay that swearing in process until the December workshop. So I apologize for that bad planning on my part. I'd also like to say that I want to recognize and thank the two gentlemen to my right, Andrew Nagel and Jeff McKenna, who I've had the honor and privilege of working with for the past several years. I will miss you all's smarts, your balanced thinking, and your dedication to Weaverville. So I won't be here next month or your last meeting, so I want to take this opportunity tonight to thank you for your camaraderie, and I know where you live. Regarding the approval and adjustments to the agenda, you all have had the opportunity to review tonight's agenda. Are there any adjustments to that agenda, or if not, is there a motion to approve it as written?
Approve as written.
Thank you very much. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. It is the duty of the mayor and every town council member to avoid both conflicts of interest and the appearances of such. Does any member have any known conflict or interest or appearance of a conflict with respect to any matters coming before this council tonight? Hearing none, thank you. Next item up is item 6, our consent agenda. Town Manager Coffey, would you go through the consent agenda for us?
Certainly. Good evening to all of you. Beginning on page 16 is your September 25th Town Council regular meeting minutes for approval. Following that, on page 21, beginning on page 21, is your monthly report and request for refunds and releases, and you'll see there about mid-page that 12.7% has been collected this year, which is where we should be, with September's request for releases and refunds for $2,115 for property tax levy release and refund, and then a motor vehicle levy release and refund of $113.58. On page 27, you have a budget amendment for a total of $5,317.30, and this is goes into Cops for Kids. It's donations for Cops for Kids, goes into the police department budget. On page 20, pages 29 through 61, you have annexation. These are all to set public hearings. And these are for the public hearing for annexation and initial zoning for Rooms Creek Village recombination areas. Annexation, that's the first one, annexation and initial zoning for 300 Hamburg Mountain Road. The second one, third one is annexation and initial zoning Northridge Farms. And then finally, to set a public hearing on the comprehensive land use plan. Staff is recommending that you set the public hearings for these for your November 14th workshop, which is at 6 p.m. here at Town Hall. On page 71, again, those are only to set the public hearings for those. On 71, you have this agenda item is for approval of an amended and restated resolution concerning growth areas. You adopted the initial resolution for growth areas in December of 2022, and staff has recently noted that the R2 zoning district was not included in any of those growth areas, and that was staff believes that to be an oversight. If Town Council agrees that this was an oversight, we would ask that you consider adopting the attached amended and restated resolution to add that use of R2 zoning district to growth areas 1, 2, 3, and 5. You also see that we have, if you've looked on our website, you'll see that our GIS mapping capabilities has greatly improved, and we've attached a map for inclusion with the resolution in that regard. And then you'll see the highlighted areas where the R2 zoning district is being recommended in the next 3, 4, 5 pages. So we would ask that you approve that and adopt the amended and restated resolution regarding development within those identified growth areas. And then on page 77, this is your local water supply plan. This is up for approval every 5 years. This is a state requirement. North Carolina General Statute 143-355L requires that all units of government provide and prepared submit a local government supply plan to DEQ for approval every 5 years. And then on page 84, you have an NCDOT encroachment agreement, and this is for the LDG or 171 Monticello Road sidewalk. One of the conditions of that development approval requires the developer, LDG, multifamily LLC, to install a sidewalk along the road frontage at 171 Monticello Road. The sidewalk and drainage ditch will be constructed within the NCDOT right-of-way, and NCDOT permission for that work is required. NCDOT does not maintain sidewalks, and the town is asked to take ownership and maintain maintenance of the sidewalks and drainage ditch once it's completed by the developer. The proposed encroachment agreement is presented to you for your approval, and specific language related to the town is highlighted on the second page, which is page 86 of your agenda. Important to note here that this document does not provide permission for the sidewalks that will be required to get pedestrian traffic to the Northridge Commons shopping area or shopping center. These additional sidewalks be addressed at a later time. We would ask that you approve this encroachment agreement with NCDOT. And I believe Mayor Fitzsimmons is going to provide information on the next two items from the consent agenda.
Yes, since our last meeting, we did have an opportunity to do performance reviews with both the town manager and the town attorney, and I think you all, and all of us except for one, were present for that. The salary increases for both of those employees included in this consent agenda. And the last item is the scheduled organizational meeting, which is where we swear in new members who are voted in the November election, which I referred to a little earlier. So, are there any questions or comments for the town manager regarding items in tonight's consent agenda?
I have a question. What was the basis or what did you use for the forecast for year-round population growth? It's on page 82.
That's in the local supply plan.
No, it's year-round, like
Yeah.
22
It's in the local water supply plan document, though?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's
Yeah.
Page 82. I just wondered what was the basis for the population growth.
Yeah, if we could ask Mr. Wilson to come to the podium and address the question. This is in regards to the local water supply plan.
Those population numbers are for, let me go over here and find this here. Under, page,
It's on page 4 of 5,
Say.
or page 82.
Yeah, it's number 5 under planning. First item.
under 2022, that is for the, people that we serve. The rest of the numbers after that, this software generates that. Under the state, the state's website generates everything after 2022.
Probably not enough. So
I'm just-
8,000,
So basically, make sure we're understanding, the population figure for 2022 is everyone who's receiving our water, not necessarily the population of the town.
that's right.
But growth, I'm saying, what was the basis again for the growth?
All the years after 2022, the state's website generates those numbers.
Oh, okay.
A mathematical formula that's probably as accurate as their 400 gallons
That's
per
right.
day.
Thank you, Randall.
It's an algorithm thing.
Yeah, so you overestimate one thing and underestimate the other.
That's right.
That's interesting.
Mr. Chafe?
I have a question regarding LDG. Did we get a fee in lieu of sidewalks at some point?
Yes.
And how
Did we
does-
get the fee?
Yeah,
We will be getting the fee. That hasn't been triggered yet, but yes, there is I can't, is it 150?
150.
I think it's 150.
150,000.
but they're, and we're building the sidewalks, not them. Is that right?
That
And
was a
maintaining
fee in
them.
lieu of them building that sidewalk, but they have agreed under that conditional district, they have agreed to help coordinate and cooperate as much as possible. And they may be willing to put in more than whatever, again, I think it's 150,000. They may be willing to put in more, but they're legally required to put the 150 in.
Gotcha. All right, thanks for clarifying that.
They're gonna build the one in front,
Yes.
but then the other one, no.
The other, yeah, right.
Any other questions or comments? If not, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
All in favor, please say aye.
I,
Any opposed? Thank you very much. Next item is the item 7, Town Manager's Report. Town Manager Coughlin.
Yes, sir, and thank you again. I'm not gonna hit all of the points here unless you all have questions on them. You've had this report in front of you, and it's a couple of pages, and I don't want to belabor the rest of the agenda. Lake Louise Park updates, among the many things that our Public Works Department is doing, obviously the biggest items are the demolition of the playground equipment, the old playground equipment, as well as the pickleball courts. So the demolition of the old playground equipment and the preparation of the new equipment, it's for the new equipment, not installed yet, but will be ready, was ready on Friday, right? Dale, is that still accurate? Okay. So we expect the installation of the new equipment will be November 6th. The new pickleball and basketball courts are well underway, and they are scheduled to be, they were starting pavement today on that, and once that's complete, the coating will be placed on the courts, the nets will be installed. I don't have this in the correct order because it does have to go in a very specific order. The basketball goal will be installed, and then the fencing will begin.
So Dale was in cahoots with Patrick because he promised us it would be done before we left office. So it just.
I know nothing about that.
I see what you did there, Dale.
See,
Dale's
they
a cooperative
bumped- yeah,
man.
they bumped our tenure around.
I know nothing
I
about
get
that.
it now.
so I guess they could stay until the end of the year and we could postpone till January.
Nope.
December.
We have met with Elevated Trail Design, and they are beginning their work to design and prepare a concept plan for the trail system at Eller Cove watershed. So we'll be bringing that back to you in January or February when they are finished. That's their estimated timeframe of when they would be finished. I've also, just to let you know, I've also asked them for a quote to begin the same trail design for the property back behind Public Works. Have not received that, but I will bring that to you, or at least notify you. I would anticipate that it would probably be some amount less than the 5,000 that we're paying for the Eller Cove concept plan. That's my guess there. Woodfin, you see the update there on Woodfin Emergency Water, the MOA, the agreement for the mutual emergency water with the town of the Woodfin Water District. Also, just to let you know, that for the purposes of resources, but also to have an objective bystander. I did enter into an agreement with Land of Sky Regional Council to do the facilitation portion of our short-term rental process. And so Mary Roderick, who's the planning director, will be obviously over that process for us, but her staff, Kayla DeChristina, will be leading that process. And so we've had one meeting with them so far. We do have another meeting planned in 2 weeks to go ahead and begin that process of pulling together what those stakeholder meetings will look like. And so I'll keep you updated, myself or Mr. Eller, one will keep you updated on how that's going. Want to thank Chief Harris for submitting a grant proposal to Firehouse Subs for $40,000 for replacement of our water rescue equipment. We are looking for additional grants this year. This is something that is charged that I've given to department heads, and also Tamara Mercer will be looking for grants for us that we can potentially apply for with all this money that they say is out there and available. And so we are going to be trying harder to find grants. And so thank you, Chief Harris, for looking into that and starting that process with Firehouse Subs. Pleased to announce the promotion of Michael Hunter to Deputy Fire Chief. Chief Hunter has served for the Weaverville Fire Department for 16 years, 1.5 of those years being as a firefighter, 8.5 as a captain, and 6 years as a battalion chief. And so want to congratulate him on his promotion. Have received notice from the Weaverville Center for Creative and Healthy Living that they are going to be looking to actually dissolve the 501c3 at the end of, or in October of 2024. I was unaware. I knew that Mr. Balistrieri was going to back away, but frankly, I was kind of disappointed to hear that they are actually looking to dissolve that nonprofit, which is going to mean that the town needs to figure out what we want to do if we want to continue programming.
That
I
was
just have
very
to s-
disturbing. I mean, because they have a board. You would think they
Yeah.
could find more
I have a meeting with them
volunteers.
on Friday, so maybe things will
Yeah,
change.
my hope is that we can figure out another way to make that continue, because I do believe that the programming they've been offering in the community center has been beneficial, and the community has really enjoyed it, in my view. Music on the Knoll is a kind of a continuation of, and you all approved additional funds in the budget to continue music as a kind of a continuation of our second Saturday summer series in the park, but it's moved down now to the community center. And our first show was last night, and I think Mayor Fitzsimmons said that at one point there was 50 or so
About
folks
50
there.
folks, I'd say.
50
Good
there.
good
So
concert, too.
Pretty good crowd there. Paving bids, so I believe it was last meeting. It was last meeting. We received approval from you to go forward with the paving bid. There was and as you'll recall, there was $400,000 that was under budgeted. And I promised to you that I would bring back to you any changes or any need to use any of those funds for other paving projects. And so as Mr. Pennell went back and began, starting the process of getting this project going, he determined that he of 13 discrepancies that he had found, there were 13 discrepancies in the bids that he received, which was around 480 calculations, literally. He missed one. So 12, he caught 12, missed one. I think those are pretty good odds. So that's a $10,000 discrepancy. So I want to let you know that we will be using 10,000 more of that. So we're to 390,000 there for that project, still below budget. Grand Marshal of the Holiday Parade, thank you all for your input. on choosing the Grand Marshal for the parade and announced publicly that Tom Balistrieri was chosen for all of his hard work with the Weaverville Center for Creative and Healthy Living. Then finally, Veterans Day observance. This year we'll be holding the Veterans Day observance on Friday, November 10th at 11 o'clock, and that will be at the community center. The next Music on the Knoll is Saturday, November 25th. And then finally, January 20th is your scheduled strategic planning retreat. That is all for the town manager's report, sir.
Thank you. Are there any questions of the manager?
I have a question for Dale. I don't recall, but were we able to get any additional parking spaces up there for the pickleball court and stuff in that area?
26 spaces as part of this project.
Okay, I didn't recall how many. Thank you.
Any others? Thank you, manager. Next item up, item 8, general public comments. And I do not believe we have anyone who has signed up for this to make comments this evening. Is there anyone in the audience who have a change of mind? Nope. Good deal.
Let's check online.
Oh,
Is there anybody online that wishes to provide a general public comment? Seeing none.
Good deal. Next item is agenda item 9, discussion and action items. And the first action item is a fee schedule amendment, lowering our water system development fees. And Attorney Jackson, can you describe that for us?
Yes, sir. So Town of Weaverville has been charging water system development fees since July 1st of 2018. Recently, you have, the law requires that you undergo a financial analysis every 5 years in order to keep charging those fees. That was done in the spring with a report being prepared and presented to you by Wildan Financial Services in May. And of that, based on that report, with your fee schedule that you adopted with your budget, you did approve some system development fees based on an incremental method, and went not quite 100% of those fees, but pretty close to that. At that time, part of their analysis is what are the big capital projects, and are there any grant funds that will be used to pay for those. At the time, we did not have any grant funding in place. And so with the $15 million grant that the town recently received from the state, that calculation is now off. And so Wildan was nice enough to recalculate, essentially update those fees, the maximum fees, based on the grant funds that have come in and the 1 million that is possibly out there. So they have done so. Their memorandum is included in your packet in what staff, and it's on the screen right there. The highest, this town council has wanted to pass on the highest that it can. And so with the newly calculated fees, the highest is the buy-in method. And so staff has proposed that the fee schedule be amended to reflect the buy-in method based on those recalculations. We also recommend that those fees be made retroactive to July 1, with the understanding that there will be just a handful of folks that we will have to refund a little bit, but that seems like the safest, least risky way of proceeding.
What questions do you all have for the attorney, or about this item? If there are none, can we have a motion to?
Motion could read to lower the water system development fees consistent with the buy-in rates as shown on the memorandum, and amend your fee schedule to reflect those.
Is it what they're So this is what they would now recommend if they had known in April.
Yes,
Okay, so as per their new recommendation, right?
yes.
Okay, I'm willing to make that motion.
And it will, if I can just add, this doesn't affect your motion, this would be retro.
Retroactive
So
to July 1.
we will be,
Refunds.
Ms. Dozier will
Right.
be refunding, has already actually started refunding, or the process of refunding some of these folks if you guys.
Preparing for the refund.
Yes. There you go.
Any other
It's already
discuss-
determined who needs to be
There you
refunded.
go. That's better. Any other discussion on this item? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. Next item is 9B, water line replacement project. And Public Works Director Pennell, can you tell us about this?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As you recall, you put in this year's budget $400,000 for us to begin a more systematic program of replacing aging water lines. So we're ready to get started with that. And the first step in that process is to select a consulting engineer who will be the one that helps us conceptualize, design, plan, permit, bid, and help us with construction. So the way that we do that is we ask for proposals from engineering companies and then select one based on qualifications. And after the selection is made, then we negotiate with that engineer for his services contract. We've gone through that process. We advertised publicly for that. We had 7 engineering companies that expressed interest. 2 of them submitted proposals to us. One of them was Withers and Ravenel that have been helping us on a lot of our other projects, and one was Mattern and Craig. Both of them are statewide and southeast-wide firms with Asheville offices. And in reviewing those with the town manager and town attorney, we determined that basically they were very equal in terms of their abilities and their experience and their backgrounds. But since we're doing several projects with Withers Ravenel right now, we decided it'd be better to expand our list of engineers that we work with. And so we've chosen Mattern and Craig to be our consultant for this. And so for tonight, what we'd like for you to do is to agree with that selection and authorize us to negotiate and execute an engineering contract with that firm.
Any questions for the Public Works Director?
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, no, I like that idea too, and not really related to that, but it's kind of related to the whole topic. The factors that were apparently at play with Asheville and the issue they had over the winter, you know, they've been updating that in the news. Are we keeping up on that and making sure none of those factors play into our system? I think I know our system well enough that it's kind of apples and oranges, but just want to make sure we're staying ahead of that.
When that whole event happened back in December and January, between the water treatment staff and water maintenance staff, we looked at the issues that have come to mind and have been found to be a part of that whole situation. We're very lucky that the things that happened with that really are unattached at all to anything that we do with our system, particularly at the water.
Okay.
So we'll be continuing to do that, and the lines that we anticipate being designed in this first year of the water line replacement program are some lines that are old and small and shallow and cause us leaks on a regular basis. So we're hoping to even more take care of issues that could be attributed to those problems they had back in.
Great, thank you.
If there is,
Try to get ahead of some of those issues that Asheville had, and now that we're learning more, as you said, we're learning about even bigger issues that,
Right.
that were not even necessarily related to the age of their system, there was other issues. And so, I think, the way that we're going about it and looking at those problematic areas is the best way to go about it for us.
Excellent. If there are no, if there are no other questions, can we get a motion to select Mattern and Craig and to authorize the staff to negotiate a contract?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Don't go anywhere, Mr. Pennell, because you're up next again. Item C is a water commitment application for 300 Hamburg Mountain Road.
Can I ask a question about this before Dale starts talking?
Sure.
So we, unless I missed something, which I could have, we have not approved their annexation has not been approved yet. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So,
You set the public hearing on
right.
that for.
So they're asking us to approve water before they're annexed? I can't read anywhere in here it says if annexed.
You certainly can do that, but I will say that they have submitted the annexation petition to you, and at this point, it's up to you whether you take action to annex or not.
So what they're asking us to is to give them water before they're annexed. I mean, you're asking us to approve the water commitment now. Is that what I'm reading? That's like the opposite of what we've been saying. Right. We don't get annexed and then you get your water, or am I missing something?
I mean, it's very common that you've got the water
Concurrent.
commitment that's
Concurrent.
on, and so this is coming concurrently. If you want to approve it conditioned upon annexation, you can do that.
I just need to get my head around, they're asking for water and they haven't been annexed yet. Sorry, just wanted, before you spoke, wanted to get my head around what we're asking for here.
It would make sense to put the condition on it, Andrew. I mean, they filled out the application that way, but it would totally make sense to put that condition on it also.
But they could get the water and then withdraw the application to be annexed.
Not if you put the condition.
If you
That
put
one
the
may
condition,
continue.
yeah.
Yeah, to this point, we should, if we're going to look at it concurrently or even one before the other, always have the condition in just to make the statement if nothing else.
Didn't mean
Didn't mean to jump ahead of there, Dale.
Well, I meant to jump ahead of you because I didn't want to waste your time talking if we were all going to go, no, wait until it's annexed, so, sorry.
No problem at all. And I agree with you. This project at 300 Hamburg Mountain Drive Road is also known by Windsor-built Reeves Creek Building. So we're trying to convert from their original address to the name of the project. However, it still remains 35 single-family lots on about 9.5 acres of land near the intersection of Hamburg Mountain Road and Reeves Creek Road on the former Penley property. They have asked for a standard 400 gallons a day for 35 lots, which equals 14,000 gallons per day. They're going to install the lines as they're always required to do at towns, using the town's design standards, and then it'd be intended for us to take it over for maintenance and ownership after they're complete. Just as a side note, for Councilman Nagel, their actual flow would be more like 3,500 gallons per day.
Thank you.
And that amounts to 0.2% of our treatment plant capacity. So,
0.2.
0.2%. So we love single-family homes as far as water is concerned. So what we'd like to do is at this time, we have sufficient capacity within the water system to take care of this demand without having any adverse impact on the rest of the customers. So we're asking you to consider approval of this request.
Is there any more questions or comments about this item? If not, would someone like to make a motion to approve it contingent on annexation?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Pennell. Next one up is item 9D, the quarterly report from Finance Director Dozier.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Before we talk about the first quarter of this year, I wanted to give you a quick update on last year's audit. It's currently being finalized and will be submitted to the LDG.
LGC.
LGC, the other one in my head, by the end of October, and the auditors will be here at your November meeting to present their findings.
Can we push that to the December meeting?
So we recently just finished the first quarter of the current fiscal year, FY '23, FY '24. Everything is coming in as expected. We're off to a good start. On page 100, there's a chart showing you revenues. As in the past, this is year over year. It's comparing this quarter to the same quarter last year and the prior 2 years before that. And then the final column is your budgeted column. Our tax levy this year came in very close to what we had budgeted. If you recall, last year it came in about $200,000 higher. Because when we budget, we're looking at estimates, but the finals come in August. So that's just slightly higher. Interest income so far this year is about $137,000 just in this quarter. So interest rates have kind of leveled out in our investment accounts at about 5%, and they seem to be staying there, which is good for us. The next page, page 101, is a chart showing your expenditures. You're going to see a lot of fluctuation there, simply based on when we make our capital purchases, because we do have a lot of capital planned in the budget this year. After that, you've got your detail. If you want to, if you're interested in the detail line by line for each department, that goes through page 111. And then the final few pages are your 3 capital projects and your ARP grant project. The only one with activity this quarter is the rec complex. You'll see we've spent $50,353 on the progress that's been made on the pickleball courts and basketball court at the rec complex. That is all I have for you, but we'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions or comments on the Finance Director's report? None? Thank you. Obviously, you and Selena did good budgeting. Next item up is 9E, core report from Planning Director Eller.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I hope for us to concentrate so much on one number tonight that I've arrived here empty-handed. I spoke last year at approximately this time that we had experienced a drop in zoning permits that was issued. That wasn't entirely accurate in my estimation. It showed more of a shift in the housing type that we were permitting. And that's going to be shown here in this quarterly report as well. The number of permits that were issued were very low, but the number of units that were permitted was very high, exactly 500. That's beyond anything that in my understanding, the town has ever experienced. So I ask that we stay aware of that number, especially as we continue to experience waves of annexations and other development approvals that will come along with those. That being said, 500 units in 3 months is a whole lot. If we understand what that means, what all of that translates to the ground. That being said, I'm happy to field any comments that you may have.
So I believe we have currently 5 active annexation requests. Does that sound correct?
I'm looking
Yes.
over. Yes.
We're very popular. What questions or comments do you all have for Director Eller? None? Thank you, sir.
Well, I do.
I don't think we do have one.
I just have one. When or at what point is the permit actually issued? I mean, like, one of the things that I've read here is that, with these many annex requests, then that means you're going to have this much work to do. So my question is, we know they don't get built immediately. They get built over a 4 or 5 year period of time, and that MSD and water takes 18 months or 2 years anyway. So at what point do you have to give the permits for the 500 units?
Let me see if I can back into an answer and then sort of walk along a timeline with you. The three large development approvals that occurred in the past 3 months were Ollie Weaver Road, 171 Monticello, and 480 Range Creek. Those annexation procedures and zonings were somewhere between 6 months to a year and a half ago. How quickly things move on the private side is probably a reflection of how well organized they are and how quickly they're able to get some other permitting done through Buncombe County as well. But I would say typically within a year of annexation, we experience a permit package that is eligible for technical review committee review and approval.
Within a year?
Typically.
Okay.
Another story I'll tell real quick, just with the apartment row, for lack of a better term, on Monticello. The one that got permitted first finished last. So sometimes we just don't know. But permitting, we typically experience permit review within a year of annexation.
Any others? Thank you, sir. If there's no other business to come before this board tonight, and is there? No, then I want to point out that it's 46 minutes. That's not a record, but I think it's a personal best.